My name's Michael Gilbert. I'm road test editor here at Cycle World Magazine, and beside me is Adam Waheed, senior editor at Motorcyclist Magazine. Next to us, we have two very important lightweight street bikes, Ninja 400. It's come in, kind of stated its dominance in this category the last couple of years, and now Yamaha has updated its YZF-R3 with updated suspension, new bodywork, and an LCD dash just to kind of bring it up to par. We've taken these motorcycles out on the street for real open world testing, and then we've also taken them to Chuckwalla Valley Raceway, a 17-turn road course in the middle of Southern California's desert. Biggest thing I think that we need to talk about, this thing has 78 cc's over the R3, and we really felt that at the racetrack. What do you think?
Yeah, the Ninja 400 has some motor, Michael. You know, that thing really accelerates a lot more vigorously than this YZF-R3.
I think that it kind of gives you a area to play with in the power band. You know, you can get away with dropping the revs maybe down to 7,000 RPM and really still be able to bring it back up to speed, whereas the R3, you know, if you let it die below 9,500 RPM, you have no power.
Yeah, the R3 is a conventional small bore street bike. You know, you really gotta ride the bejesus out of that thing to get it to go anywhere. Where this thing, you know, you have a little bit more flexibility in the power band. That's what that extra lung capacity of the engine does.
Right, it has 24% more power than the R3, 43 horsepower versus 36. It also weighs about 15 pounds more, and you feel that especially on the racetrack going from side to side. It's a little bit more stable, I think, but it doesn't quite carve the corners like maybe the R3 does.
Yeah, I really like the suspension of the R3, especially on the street. It seemed a little bit more firmly dampened. It just felt like it went over the bumps a little bit better. Not to say that the Ninja 400 suspension isn't good. It's very plush and very, I guess, kind of couch-like, just like the Ninja ZX-6R. But, you know, even though it was a little bit softer in terms of its damping, you know, on the track, it worked pretty good at Chuckwalla, I can't lie.
It worked pretty good. I think what really hurt the handling in terms of the Ninja is maybe the ergonomics. The ergonomics are really relaxed, and so are the foot pegs. They sit very low.
They do.
And you drag them going through the corner where, like you say, the R3 is a little bit more firm, and I think you feel, personally, I felt like it's a lot more racier position, and I'm more comfortable getting aggressive than I am on the Ninja 400.
Yeah, I agree. I certainly favored the ergonomic package on the YZF-R3. The position of the clip-ons, the windscreen itself, I mean, it's so much more taller than the Ninja 400.
Yep.
Like, you're not tucking out a wind in this bike, but with the R3, you're gonna, even a tall guy like me can get in behind the bubble and be relatively comfortable.
Right.
So for sure, the R3 would win in the ergonomics department.
And I think, especially when we're talking about aerodynamics and getting behind the bubble, freeway speeds are a lot more comfortable on the R3 just because you can get behind the air and not, you know, be pushing it with your head and neck.
Totally. I mean, obviously the Ninja 400 has a lot more get up and go, but at the same time, you know, just with the better aerodynamic package and the better ergonomics, this thing actually was more enjoyable to ride at freeway speeds.
At freeway speeds, but you know, especially when we were taking off from stoplights out in the city, it was kind of frustrating because the gearing is so short, especially from first. Like, you're having to make a really awkward
You love
short
talking
shift.
about that short gearing.
I do. It bothered me on the street, you know?
I know what you're saying. It was short geared, but when we had to pop the wheelies, I like that short gearing.
Of course, for popping wheelies.
Yeah, it made it really easy to do.
Popping wheelies on this, though, with some extra horsepower is equally as fun. It's easy.
There's no replacement for displacement, man, and the Ninja 400 has the edge in that department.
Well, how about the brakes? On the R3, I kind of thought they were a little, you know, you grab the lever and there's not a whole lot of feel to them. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the R3 brakes certainly get the job done, and it's got ABS, which is nice, but I think I'd really like the Ninja 400 brakes a little bit better. I really like that large diameter front brake disc. You can really feel it when you're pinching that lever.
Well, you have a lot more feel, and I think going back to the engine, you also have this assist slipper clutch on the Kawasaki trying to decelerate. It's not as jerky when you're trying to make late braking moves on your buddy at the racetrack.
The gearbox in both bikes is good, but for sure that addition of a slipper clutch never hurts, you know. Overall, I'd probably have to give the nod to the Ninja 400 to having better brakes. R3s certainly aren't bad by any means, but the Ninja 400 is a little bit better.
Which one do you think looks better? It's always important. If you're going to spend your money, which one looks better to you?
I mean, obviously, the way a bike looks is a big decision maker when someone chooses the next bike they buy. You know, I've always liked what Yamaha has done with the R bikes, the R1, the R6, now
they
the
look
R3.
very similar, all of them. They have that kind of distinct R model shape.
They all kind of look like YZR M1 MotoGP replicas a little bit.
I agree.
Some more than others, and to me, this bike stands out way more, especially in its white paint, than this Ninja 400. You know, I think Kawasaki kind of missed the boat a little bit on the styling on this bike. It looks too similar to the ZX6R, and it just doesn't look as flashy and as awesome as this thing.
But I kind of think you're contradicting yourself there, though, because we're talking about the R3 looking like the R6 and the R1, and you say this one looks just like the 636.
True, but I'm not really a big fan of the way the 636 looks either. You know, but I'm a fan of the way the R1 looks, the R6, and now the R3. So teach their own, but I'm a Yami guy.
I'm gonna take this one.
Nice,
I'll fight
man.
you on that one all day long.
We'll agree to disagree.
Both these motorcycles are $52.99 with ABS. Which one would you put your money on?
Oh, geez, man. You know, $5,300 for one of these bikes is an exceptional value, and you really couldn't go wrong with either bike. I think overall, though, you know, for my money, there's definitely some things I like about the R3, the way it looks, the suspension, the better ergonomics package, especially when you're riding on the street. But the performance on this bike, it's faster, it's got better brakes, it goes around turns still really well, even though the suspension maybe isn't as good as this bike, in my opinion. It still gets it done, and it gets it done for the same price.
Right, it kind of trumps the R3 in a lot of areas, most all areas, and on the Ninja 400 you have room to grow. You're not quite getting stuck into a motorcycle where you're going to get bored after a little bit.
It's a real good point. You know, when you buy a small motorcycle, a lot of times you ride it for, you know, a couple months, a year, you outgrow it real quick. This Ninja 400, you're going to be less likely to outgrow it in a short amount of time.
Right. We had a ton of fun going to the racetrack and riding on the street, both, and you know, we've been doing this a long time.
We left no stone unturned during the test of these two bikes, man.
That's
we did
right.
It.
Ninja 400, 78 cc more power, better brakes, more feel from the brakes, and the chassis is really compliant, yet it can handle the racetrack. So that brings us to Cycle World's decision of naming this the winner of this lightweight street bike shootout. Now, if you like this video, be sure to like, follow, subscribe us on YouTube, and we'll see you next time on Cycle World.